Stockholm Swedish fashion giant H&M on Thursday reported a drop in sales and profit in the second quarter as currency effects weighed on the company's earnings. H&M said its net profit fell to 3.96 billion krona, $419 million, for the period of March to May of 2025, down from 5.06 billion a year earlier. The quarter's result was negatively affected by higher purchasing prices as a result of a more expensive US dollar and higher freight costs, but also by the fact that we have continued to invest in the customer offering, H&M chief executive Daniel Över said in a statement. Över noted that negative external factors that increased the costs of purchasing for the first half of the year are turning positive for the second half of the year. Net sales for the company fell nearly 5% to 56.7 billion krona compared to the second quarter of 2024. But the company noted that net sales rose by 1% in local currencies with 4% fewer stores at the end of the quarter compared with the same point in time the previous year. In its quarterly earnings report, it said net sales were hit by a currency translation effect of around 6 percentage points due to the strengthened Swedish krona. H&M also said its sales result in the second quarter should be seen in light of the fact that the second quarter of 2024 was a strong quarter. Alright, let's break this down carefully and connect it to the Iraqi dinar, IQD, step by step. 1. What happened with H&M? Sales and profit dropped. H&M's net profit fell by 22% and sales fell by nearly 5% in SEK, Swedish krona. Main reasons: a stronger Swedish krona hurt their earnings when they converted sales made in other currencies. The US dollar got more expensive for them, they pay suppliers mostly in USD, so a stronger dollar made their costs higher. Freight costs and other external factors also added pressure. They also closed some stores, so total physical sales capacity shrank. 2. The key detail: currency exchange matters. H&M operates worldwide. They sell clothes in dozens of countries in many local currencies: USD, EUR, GBP, IQD in Iraq, etc. When they report results, they convert all those currencies back into SEK. If the SEK strengthens, their overseas sales are worth less in SEK. If the USD strengthens, their purchasing costs rise because suppliers get paid in dollars. 3. How is this connected to the Iraqi dinar? H&M's experience shows how exchange rate shifts can affect companies that operate in multiple currencies and why local currency strength or weakness matters for profits, prices, and competitiveness. For Iraq, the main points are: aspect H&M's example Iraqi dinar relevance. Stronger home currency the Swedish krona strengthened foreign sales converted back to SEK shrink in value. If the IQD strengthened, which is rare but possible if oil revenue surges, Iraqi exporters would earn less IQD for the same dollar sales abroad, making Iraq's exports less competitive. Weak local currency H&M suffered from a strong USD, paying suppliers in USD cost them more SEK. Iraq pays for many imports, food, tech, industrial goods in USD. If the IQD weakens, it takes more IQD to buy USD, so import costs rise, putting pressure on prices and consumers. Currency hedging and reserves: big companies use hedging to manage currency swings. Iraq's central bank uses USD reserves to stabilize the IQD. If reserves fall or oil prices drop, the IQD can weaken, affecting the cost of living, inflation, and state spending. Store network and local sales: H&M closed stores but still grew local currency sales slightly. If the IQD weakens badly, consumer purchasing power drops, which could hurt local sales for companies operating in Iraq, including global brands like H&M. 4. Broader connection: H&M's warning for emerging economies. Iraq, like many emerging economies, depends heavily on imports priced in dollars or euros. A stronger USD or weaker IQD means higher costs for imported goods, more pressure on consumers, and sometimes inflation. If Iraq's oil revenue is healthy and the central bank maintains a stable peg, the IQD stays relatively stable. But any external shock, like oil price drops, US rate hikes, regional instability, can create pressure similar to what H&M faced with currency.